life eating unhealthy food that we grew up on, but we don't want to lose that taste and those flavors. What if I told you that you can still get those flavors and that amazing taste, that the food is healthy for you? You have came to the right place. Tiffany's Health Connection. This is where it's a win-win situation. The food is healthy and tastes great. Here we go. We're going to get started. Hey there, guys. Welcome to Tiffany's Health Connection. And today I'm so excited. Today what we're going to be making is Tex-Mex inspired stuffed bell peppers. And it's that time of year where we want to be eating these comfort foods. And today we're going to get all those amazing flavors, and we're going to be making a comfort food dish that tastes amazing. So let's get started. Right now we're getting ready to cover the dry ingredients. We're going to be using garlic powder. Himalayan salt is what I use. You can use sea salt as well. We have ground cumin. And for the last ingredients, we have chili powder. Now we're going into our wet ingredients. We have olive oil. We're using diced tomatoes. I chose to use the diced tomatoes with basil, garlic, and oregano. And we always, here at Tiffany's Health Connection, I'm always adding something a little extra to my food to make it taste just that much better. And what we have is salsa. We're going to mix the diced tomatoes with salsa. So here's our bulk ingredients. Today what we're using for these stuffed bell peppers, the bulk ingredients include quinoa, and this is quinoa and brown rice. I decided I chose to do the kind that you can just put in the microwave. It's a lot easier. If you like, it's up to you. You can go ahead and boil it and do it the long way. Or you can use any type of rice of your choice. But today, this is what we have. Next ingredients are black beans. You can use any type of beans of your choice. The black beans taste a lot better. They're more robust and they're just more flavorful. They taste a lot better in this dish, in my opinion. Next, we're adding corn. Next is our bell peppers right here. And what you want to do with the bell peppers, you want to cut them in half and you want to pull these seeds out. I like mine, a lot of people cut the tops off. I like mine cut sideways like this. I also like to leave the stem on them. I think it's just cute. It makes for a better presentation. You're going to add an onion. Depending on how much you like onions, you can use a half or you can use like a quarter as to what I have here. We're going to chop this up. And we have walnuts. We're going to chop these up as well. And what we want to do next, we're going to have to take these. We cleaned them out. I cleaned the seeds out already. What we're going to have to do with these, we're going to have to boil them. If you boil them for about 5-10 minutes before you bake them, that'll cut your baking time in half. And the reason that you want to boil them first is because they're very thick. These are pretty thick peppers right here, so you don't want to be running our oven for forever. So go ahead and boil these for about 5-10 minutes. Make sure you have enough water to actually cover to go a little higher than what the bell peppers are. And we also, to help the cooking time as well, so we don't have to be running our oven for forever and for a very long time, we also want to saute our onions in olive oil. You want to do that for about 5-10 minutes as well. All right, so there we go. It is cooking down. You can hear it sizzling. We want to get them till they're a little translucent. See, everything just gets thrown right into one bowl. We're going to go ahead and start with the garlic powder. We only want like 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, like that. Next, we're going to do the cumin, same amount, only 1/4. This stuff is pretty strong, so you don't need a whole lot of this as well. It goes a long way. A little bit goes a long way with this cumin. Now for the chili powder, we want to do a 1/2 teaspoon of this chili powder. This is really one of the key ingredients here. So here we go. That's a whole half a teaspoon. And that's it for the dry ingredients. All right, so our onions are soft enough. They've cooked down pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and add the sauteed onions. And once again, this is where this recipe gets really easy. You just throw everything in a bowl just like that. Just throw it in there. Black beans, corn, chopped walnuts. We have salsa, and we have diced tomatoes. Everything in one bowl. And the good thing about this is whatever you do not use for your stuffed peppers, you can eat this as a soup later. It is so good. It is absolutely delicious. So we're going to go ahead and stir this all up. When it comes to salt, I add my salt last. You want to make sure it's nice and juicy. We do not want this to be dry. So if you look at it, you want to eyeball it. You may want to add a little bit more salsa to it. Salsa really gives it a good flavor. Salsa is what's going to give it a kick. So you might want to add about 2 more tablespoons of salsa. If you're going to add something to make this more moist, let it be the salsa. The beauty of this is you're not going to use all this to stuff your peppers. You're not going to use all of this for the recipe. But go ahead and store it in the refrigerator, and then you can later, or a day or two later, you can have this as a nice hearty soup, a nice thick chunky soup. So we have everything all mixed together in this bowl, and like I said, this is really good and really tasty. This is going to be the filling, but you have so much, you're going to have a lot left over. You can go ahead, you can save it, and you can eat this as a nice thick chunky soup later on in the week. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and first what we're going to do, we're going to take this olive oil and we're going to drizzle it into the peppers. Now the peppers are nice and soft, and that's the key to making this taste good. You want to make sure that the peppers are nice and soft, because stuffed peppers don't taste good when the peppers aren't cooked and they're all crunchy and hard or whatever. So you want to boil them a little bit. And also you want to go ahead and drizzle some olive oil on there like this. And then what we want to do, I never add my salt in my ingredients. So it boils it out and you don't really taste it. I love Himalayan salt. So what I do is I add the salt right here onto the peppers. And there we go. And then we want to go ahead and we want to take this filling. There we go. And you want to pack your pepper as much as you can. Put as much as you can in there. Stuff them. What I like to do is, one thing that makes mine different is you're going to have those walnuts. But the other thing that makes them really taste different and delicious is we're going to put these crunchy onions on the very top. Alright, so we're going to bake these on 420 degrees for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, this is when we're going to add our cheese. So let's go ahead, let's get started with preheating that oven. Now that our oven is preheated, we're going to go ahead and put these in the oven. Alright, so we are 20 minutes in. So what we want to do now is, they're pretty much done. So what we're going to do is just take it out and add the cheese. Put it back in there just long enough to melt the cheese. We're going to take it out. And it looks delicious. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and add the cheese. This is optional, or if you're vegan, you can go ahead and use your vegan cheese, but we're going to add the cheese. And we're just going to put this back in just long enough to melt the cheese. right, so we are finished. That cheese has melted, so we're going to go ahead and pull that out of the oven. And doesn't that look absolutely delicious? And we are not finished yet. We have one more topping that we need to add on top of this. And what we are going to be adding are these crisp onions. And oh my goodness, with these crisp onions and these walnuts that crunch and the onions that are in here, it is so delicious. So we go ahead. Now, I didn't add salt into the actual recipe because I don't like adding unnecessary salt to stuff. But when you cut it, if you feel like you want to add a little sprinkle of some Himalayan salt, which I do, I always just, grate a little extra salt on it once I cut it before I eat it. But I typically eliminate the salt from recipes, but I'll add a little bit, but not much. So let me go ahead and sample this. I think I'm going to pick this yellow one. There we go. Got my little salt here. Since I didn't add much into the recipe, into the ingredients. So let me hold this and let's see, let's cut it. And here we go. Let's try this out. Delicious. It's so good. You guys gotta give it a try. It's absolutely delicious. And on top of that, look what we have left over. We have this left over. So what you can do with this is a nice hearty soup that you can go ahead. You can put this in the refrigerator and you can save this for a later date. So that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Click like, subscribe,